Um, this is just how do I put it, part of my bibliography. I do watch I watch a lot of different channels just to see where they're at. In other words, you're processing information, or what I call what you are aware of when you're aware of it. When you're aware of it is what's key. I had a beautiful conversation this afternoon with a gentleman who is basically a healer. He brings beautiful energy wherever he goes, so he's a beautiful spirit to hang out with. That's no coincidence why there's three others that are in here. So I thought, hey, you want to wake up Grants Pass, Oregon? We'll do it all together, huh? So anyway, we talked about the speed of learning. And because he's spent so much time working with children, having been married before, he's been a father twice. And we talked about, and because his wife is an RN, or his former wife is an RN, we talked about teachers in classrooms. And I've mentioned this before about teachers. Whether you'd rather learn through a goddess and a god, and source, the source from which all love and all light come, let there be light, right? Living in a state of peace. Becoming a star someday. Grow your Merkaba to be the size of a star. That way you get a chance to give out free energy forever. Giving out free energy forever. Yeah, being an energy service provider, because that energy feels so good. I don't know about you, but I love to be around the most powerful energy there is to experience. The more powerful it feels, the more you want to experience the highest power of the universe, which is the most juice, which is the most light. That allows you to be wherever you want to be, where the light is, and the living spirit, right? That's basic common sense. But we talked about how, why should I have to learn through 5 million teachers, just to throw a number out there, right? Just cut to the chase. I'd rather learn through a goddess so I can learn in the shortest period possible how to be able to get my electrons to run at the full speed. Okay? Why should I have to go through all these classrooms that they're not teaching me how to do that? So when you begin to realize millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of students that are in all these classrooms that are not learning how to run high-speed electrons to power their light, their magnetic light amplifier, which is to power their light wheel, which is to power the Merkaba. They're spinning their wheels, right? It's a waste of energy. So him and I agreed on that. We agreed, yeah, that's a waste of energy. It's like, if you want to learn how to shoot pool, you could spend 40 years learning how to shoot pool from people that are practicing at it. I'd rather learn from somebody that has mastered it. Cut to the chase, for Christ's sake, right? Okay, so where am I going to be able to find that teacher? That teacher is in this planet. And that is, believe it or not, the most painful thing, in which I've cried so many tears that they have not been able to have a communication relationship with the great living spirit of Mother Earth from which they can learn from. That is my greatest source of pain, because of how much I know she loves everybody that's here. So when I think about this sort of going forward, and listening to Michael Jaco, former Navy SEAL, I take my hat off to him. He's got it right. He knows how to do this. Okay? You want to be running at the highest speed possible, right? Which means your higher state of consciousness, right? The higher realms, the higher heavenly realms, right? Is getting your speed up. And that is obvious, and I've always said this, love and service to others. Right? And be surprised what happens when you begin to let loose of the electrical resistance, particularly when we've been traumatized and we're in a state of fear. You begin to realize that it's okay to shed your tears and heal your heart within your soul. And it's okay to feel the pain and shed the tears, because you begin to dissolve and let loose of those things that were painful that we still hold on to. And the more love that you begin to share with others, the spinning Merkaba begins to start to rotate at a higher rate of speed. Then your state of vibration goes up, and you begin to heal from within yourself. When that happens and you're back to running a full tilt, like a top, then you're in higher states of consciousness. You're in the heavenly realms, which is like a state of peace, a state of love and joy. You're loving the energy that you are. And when you look in the mirror, you love the energy you're experiencing. Because that's what it is. That's all there is energy. So it's a matter of the speed of the wave. And what is the speed of the wave that you're experiencing? See, these dead corporations have been feeding on humanity. And with the PPAI, which is the parasitic artificial intelligence, think about this, and I know this because I know what's happening. I've had 3 software updates in the last week and a half. Okay? And when it is booting, I try to prevent it from updating its software one time, and then I could see all the DOS stuff come up. Binary artificial intelligence. Well, yeah, that's not trinary. Trinary is nature. Okay, so I prefer to have something that's running on more power, positive current. I don't want to have anything to do with artificial intelligence. The only reason I ever picked up this phone to use it as a communication device was to put up everything that I put up and learn from others to find out where they're at, to sort of come full circle. So they begin to realize at the end of 26,000 years, when graduation takes place, it's sayonara. Bye. So this is why it is absolutely important to go into your heart, in your soul, and do the inner work, which is a cleansing process, which basically means, for me, how I do it is getting real with myself. What I normally do is I sit down with a spiral binder and I write to my goddess. I write from my heart, and I use usually a pencil, okay? And I have sort of a different way in which I do this. Sometimes I'll use a red pen, which represents the blood that is running through all of my veins and my arteries, which represents so much light in which I'm running, which is like I'm giving you back everything that you gave to me. Okay, which is like Earth. What is it? I forget how you say it, but it's like when you realize you're basically stardust. What I call stardust. You're a star. There is a star within us. So I'm giving back to her everything that she gave to me, because of how much I love her for everything that she loved me for. So it's a relationship that you have with a goddess. Okay, so as a spiritual mother. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't tell people what to do. I simply share my experiences and share with others what it is that I do. Okay, and why I've suggested many, many times, and that is trying to regain, by healing, to have a spiritual relationship in nature. Feel the heartbeat of everything that's breathing and everything that's beating that's out there that's living in spirit. And see if you can't feel like you are part of everything that it is that you are with it. So you become a reflection in the mirror of everything that is in nature that you're giving love to, that she does. So when you feel like you are a part of that fabric and you're vibrating at a higher rate of speed and you're experiencing a state of love and joy every morning that you wake up, when the sun comes up, to give thanks for all the energy that is given to us in order for us to experience that much love that's being given to us, then we're a part of the heavenly realms. That's what it's like to experience the heavenly realms. You're experiencing heaven within your own energy field, within your own state of consciousness. So anyway, I thought that was important because as these events unfold, I pretty much knew back in, I guess it was July, that come August, events would sort of speed up. I'd become aware of far more things that are speeding up. It's not that the clock is speeding up. The energy and the events on the event horizon are speeding up. Okay? Because it realizes that it's in a race against time. So it's looking for the time, the date, where it's bye. That's what it's looking for, the date. The dates. So as I said to a guy a little while ago, I know the date. Okay? but I'm not going to release it to myself until it happens. That's why I knew as a child I already experienced the other side of this. That's how I know the date. That's why information that I experience when I experience it is information that's being released by my future self to my present moment self because it's safe to do so. I've mentioned that before. That's the operational security part of how it works. Because you realize the nature of the war that you're in. When they decide to essentially choose to war against heaven, they lose. Okay? This was the underworld decided to go to war against us. Go to war against the living. Okay? Because they're dead. They're spiritually dead. They don't run on living light, which is living love, which is living spirit, which are the energy givers of the cosmos. So when you're constantly taking energy because you don't know how to give energy, what do you think the ultimate result of that's going to be? That's the purpose of a classroom. So they give you so much time in which to be able to learn how to do that. And the greatest source of pain that I have is always going to be children. Because they were the ones that were cheated the most. Because that's the first thing that I looked at when I was a child. Is how did this happen? How did this continue to go on in a time loop, generation after generation after generation after generation after generation after generation? It's like this guy that I spoke with this afternoon who said that he's met an enormous amount of women throughout his whole life. He said he has never, ever met one female who doesn't have a history of abuse. Why is that? Why a female? Can you figure that out? Right hemisphere? Right hand path? Ring of Saturn on the left hand? Right? West gate, east gate? Stargates? So anyway, I know that as we go forward here, these events are going to speed up. They realize they're running out of time at a very accelerated rate of speed.
They filmed some of that in Timberline Live.
And that's good news. So I hope in my heart that all of you, because I know that when I put these videos up, it doesn't matter how many views I get. Okay? It's in the system. I know that there are other beings that are connecting with what it is that I'm doing. And that's the beauty of it, because that helps raise their state of awareness, helps to get their speed up, realize everything's going to be okay. All's well. I love you. Have a good night. Sweet dreams, all that good stuff.